Bottom right-hand corner of the map. Forgot how to do introductions. It's been so long. Our blue Protoss player here is ShoWTimE from Big. And in the top left-hand side, our red Terran player representing Cloud9, it is GuMiho. Game number 1 of a fresh best of 5. Get this underway and we see what will happen as we get into this. Excited, genuinely feel as though it's going to be very cool to see the builds GuMiho comes out with, sort of style ShoWTimE comes in with as well. Does ShoWTimE mix it up at all and get a little bit aggressive, or is he just extremely happy to play defensively and passively? Sometimes that might be the best way to play against GuMiho in a way, because obviously he is going to throw crazier things at you. It's such a clash of styles, and that's what makes this one very exciting. Like I say, it was my pick-out series of the day. I think this is going to be perhaps the most interesting one, so let's hope for it. I hope we see 5 games, actually, more than anything else, because I really feel like the more games we see between these two, the better, simply for the fact that this is not a matchup where each game is going to be like very similar early on. This is a matchup where GuMiho is going to do a bunch of different stuff, and I think just more games to see more of those different things is only going to be a big benefit, so very into that as that probe nibbling up on the barracks, and turn around, get onto the SCV for a little bit. Command center was just morphing into an orbital, the Reaper on the way. Nothing crazy yet. We see the expansion from ShoWTimE, which is an expectation. And overall, very standard so far. The double gas and a factory before we expand is not out of the ordinary from GuMiho either. It's just a very safe way to play. ShoWTimE pretty much knows it's coming with that probe, having been in the main. And so now he knows what's up. He doesn't know exactly the setup or what this is going to be, but the general idea of the timing of things is there for him. And we should still expect to see the Terran player moving into the command center shortly. You take that CC. Oftentimes on the high ground, you might be able to go low ground with it against ShoWTimE, who is going to be a bit more passive and defensive in general. Maybe that's something we'll see over the next little bit as our Reapers do head down the bottom right. Going to move up into this natural, and that Nexus continues to come on through. The Adept's going to get a couple shots off. Reaper already taking a few hits. Grenade going down. Adept getting a few hits off here for the moment. Just seeing more Stargate building into the main base. Stargate's obviously not too surprising of a start. Very, again, defensive and very chill way to start playing this series. Let's see if he goes straight to Phoenix or if he wants to go via an Oracle at all. Yo, Subsala, man, how you doing? Thank you so much. Tier 2, 38 months. Thank you so much for the amazing bit of support. Thank you so much for dropping the resub today. Appreciate it, and hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. We'll make it better with some more StarCraft 2. ShoWTimE does decide to open up with the Phoenix. The first Phoenix already on the way out. Bringing that in straight away here as our Hellion continues to move down to the bottom side of the map. So again, just having a little bit of a look to see if there's anything going on. This Hellion will provide pretty good map control for a while, some good scouting information for a little bit. Hellion now patrols up on the high ground as the Phoenix continues to the upper left-hand side. It's just going to go on a bit of a journey over there as well. Factory going to lift up and move off over to the edges. We do see the Hellion still patrolling a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on. Phoenix now gets a little bit of a catch onto the medevac, and the medevac will start to take some damage. Taking a few shots here as the Phoenix get back into position to try and catch that medevac again. Medevac is shoved away for the moment. Liberator coming up, a couple more Cyclones on the way out. Just bringing a lot of this through as that couple of Phoenix will continue buying into the main. Interference Matrix continue to produce through. Liberator and Cyclones all coming out. Mortal building on the side of ShoWTimE as well, so a little bit of extra defense for him should something arrive across the map too early. Remember, double Cyclone, Liberator, there's definitely potential for something of a push. We actually got the Raven going now as well with that Interference Matrix coming out. With Phoenix out, I mean, you generally expect this to be an unsuccessful time for the Raven, but we'll see if ShoWTimE can catch it. Liberator has been able to sneak away down the left side of the map. I think ShoWTimE just went to scout for it now, but he's a few moments too late. Any sooner he would have actually caught this Lib. But now the Lib gets across freely, and so the Phoenix are going to be completely out of position. Yeah, he did not catch the timing on that Liberator at all, so that's really unfortunate, because now Like I say, the Phoenix will be out of position when it comes to trying to defend against this, so that will be a bit of a problem. Phoenix going to try and regather up. Everything getting going in the center now. Phoenix move forwards. A couple Cyclones still in the way. The Raven is producing from GuMiho as well. So again, actually a second Raven up as well. Not just going to settle for the first. Liberator is poised to go into the main base right here. And like I say, just nothing really from ShoWTimE. He's got a Phoenix kind of nearby, the reinforced one, but it's halfway across the map already. Yeah, Lib just shows up, and this just has to be a pro pull. It's going to be a lot of lost mining time. And ShoWTimE, like I say, just unfortunate because he really just got in position to spot for this a little bit too late. He just snuck through at that time just before he was really ready for it. He gets a Stalker there that will start to ping through it. Phoenix come back, they will deal with this, but that was a recall used, so using that to deal with it as soon as possible to minimize the mining time lost. Still fairly effective from GuMiho. Some, energy on the Nexus, obviously the, recall on cooldown. These are a couple of nice things for you as well, little benefits for sure. Starport moves off over to the side, going to start up a reactor. Oh yeah, still getting set up together here. So you have our Phoenix moving around a little bit. Keep those active. As you see, the Phoenix, the Colossus, extended thermal lance all coming through. It's just bringing up that as much as possible. Now, Phoenix still hunting a little bit just for some potential damage. If you go in and some SCV is going to take some shots as well. Big push from GuMiho, moving out on the map with all these Cyclones. And again, just playing mech in general. Hurricane engines on the way. The extra factories are up. Definitely an interesting way to start this out. ShoWTimE with the Phoenix and Colossus. Very good defensively against Bio. Against Mech, this is fine. Eventually you want to basically be adding on a few more, Immortals most likely. Charge is very good in these situations too, for kind of charging onto that Mech force. ShoWTimE actually pushing already. We'll see if he can succeed in this push. With this being versus Mech, I'm not actually 100% sure how this is likely going to go. Again, Phoenix coming about, Gateway coming through, Pylon as well. You see the Phoenix lifting up there and getting a little bit of a grab. And our army of ShoWTimE still pressing up through the center to the upper left-hand side as we get into position. Well, tanks were not siege, so if nothing else, GuMiho was not quite ready for this. Now the Colossus get caught in the Matrix, though. And that's the question mark, right? Like, if without the Colossus being able to fight here, is this good enough? Phoenix is still lifting, getting rid of the Liberator. Stalkers and the Immortal on the ground just punching their way through units still. So they are continuing to succeed as well, and it looks as though ShoWTimE's attack here is absolutely just going to be deadly. Clean, simple timing window found from ShoWTimE, and he is just going to come straight through and pick up game number 1. Absolutely preferred by either side. These are the kind of maps which make it into best of 3s all of the time. Which kind of suggests that they are fairly even maps, right? That they're fairly well liked by the majority of races, so yeah, it'll be getting interesting the deeper we go in this series, get some of the weirder maps coming out as well. ShoWTimE just begins to set up the Reaper wall off on the main base. Get that underway. The racks and the gas coming in from GuMiho. Probe heads down to the bottom right. The double gas opening comes in again. Not really surprised to see double gas. I think that's going to be something we see quite commonly here from GuMiho. It allows him to potentially be more aggressive, which is obviously a good thing. So yeah, kind of just expecting to see that a fair amount. Sir Wriggleston, thank you so much for the 25-month resub. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for dropping by and subbing it up. Thank you very much indeed. Probe nibbling at an SCV, so a bit of damage already being dealt there. So a few shots coming through. As we just have the SCV getting pushed back and away. We do have ourselves the probe continuing back over to the sides. The Reaper still coming up. Nexus and the Cybercore coming in as well. coming in, factory coming through, Reaper is building. Let's have ourselves the probe returning back home with some minerals. Just going to drop that off. Get that on the go again, as we do have the warp gate coming through. The adept still building up as well. A little bit of everything coming through. Just early game. Reduce drop CC on the low ground here, so feeling comfortable. GuMiho not feeling like ShoWTimE's going to show up and be too aggressive or anything, which he's probably right about. Still just scouting about with this Reaper, trying to pick up as much as he can. He's actually getting Reaper number 2 and a Cyclone on the way, so there will be a little bit of potential aggression from that. But ShoWTimE going to play it safe. Battery on the natural already. And Twilight Council building up. Was that not a bad battery on the natural? Sorry. No, that's his Twilight Council on the natural. Ooh. He's just going to try and hide the tech here by not letting the Reaper come to the front. That's actually a fairly interesting take on things. Okay. Okay, I'm kind of down for that. That's cool. A couple of depths there. Reaper gets turned away again. And again, Twilight Council coming through. A couple more CCs still coming up also. Factory lifting off one more time. Wow, triple CC from GuMiho means that if ShoWTimE plays ultra defensive and ultra safe, then this is something which GuMiho is going to be able to get away with, and he's going to absolutely love that. ShoWTimE playing Blink, but very likely going to be playing Blink with a third base, rather than kind of a 4-gate Blink. If he was playing 4-gate Blink, he'd love this. Blink with a third base, then GuMiho is smiling, because he's getting away with his own triple CC super early on. He's going to have very good economy for the given state of the game. That's obviously everything you'd be dreaming of at the moment. He has a couple of Reapers. Continue up to the top sides. They're going to move up a left. They're going to be on the move already. Those Cyclones still coming about. Blink is on the way as well. They're going to hop up to the high ground. Pylon, Cybercore, Warp Gate. Going to be in position as the Adept and the Stalker will be there to push the two Reapers away. So Reaper's just going to get pushed back out the side. CC is going to continue up. That will finish in a moment here. Get that completed as well. Blink is building. Observer in production. Extra probes are coming out. The Reapers still on the move. Adept fires. Reaper takes a shot at damage. Observer coming up from ShoWTimE as well. We'll also get ourselves into charge. Raven, Cyclone, all building. Cyclone locking onto Observer just for a second there. An Order Turret will chase. We actually get rid of the Obs. So ShoWTimE going to lose a bit of his vision. He just continues into his third, his charge. And again, GuMiho getting away with just getting to tech on up. He's going to go mech again. Oh my god, GuMiho. So he's going to go mech off of the greedy opener. Obviously, this time he's playing against Solid Stalker. This is very possible when ShoWTimE realizes what this is. If he realizes what this is, he might just never tech. There's a world where ShoWTimE just goes like mass Solid Stalker and just tries to kill the guy. Parting was a massive fan of doing this with the Gateway heavy units against mech forces. So, could be kind of interesting as we have our Stalkers of ShoWTimE continuing down to the bottom right. The Cyclones, the Ravens just hanging out there for the moment as well. I mean, this is where Stalkers could absolutely do very well. Get in range, kill off a Cyclone, back it up. You know, with that blink away, you can get away quickly. He gets half a kill on a Cyclone. Not too much just yet. We'll need to be able to blink again here in a second. This time we actually stick around to kill off the Cyclones. A good control from ShoWTimE thus far. Well played thus far as we do see our Orbital Command just going to come over to the sides. Sasuke's going to move over and take the third base location. Again, GuMiho's economy is good because of that 3CC. It's just going to be booming eco-wise. 51 to 53 workers. Protoss not quite on the lead of workers that they would typically look to have. So that is all thanks to that triple CC style. As you have, again, the factory is still building up tanks. The Hellions are still on the way. Everything just getting rallied on out towards the front here a little bit. As you do see our Stalkers still coming around, they continue to get set up to the front as well. Everything kind of hanging out on this high ground, plus one attack coming through on the Forge. So we get that underway as well. Just for a moment. Hallucination pops out, is going to go across the map as we do see the Hellions, the Cyclones, the Ravens all gathering together still. It's just all of that getting settled in here. The units getting set up to the center as well. You have that +1 attack upgrade coming about. The gateway is coming through. ShoWTimE can come through, scout. You can see exactly what he's up against. When he sees it's mech, you can pretty much just say, cool, I can keep on expanding very aggressively here because you're not going to have any major pushes anytime soon. He starts up more Immortals as well. Immortals are going to really be a big buffer to this army, and any Immortals getting in range of tanks are going to have an absolute field day as well. Let's load up into the Prism, and that's also something else ShoWTimE can utilize here. As he does see Libs also coming out. So that the army is becoming powerful. Lib tank. Very siege heavy. This is why ShoWTimE will want to engage in from multiple sides. That's why kind of keeping the mobile gateway based army is actually very strong. Because you can just engage in from multiple sides and all the rest of it. As we get in here, Prism will take some shots. Do we actually get out with that Prism? We do not. And he only unloaded 2 of the Zealots. So that was a really good defense from GuMiho. Shuts that Prism down before it even really gets started. That actually really is a massive step in the right direction from him, so that puts him in a great position. As I say, a very nice catch. We can get some Liberators across the map now, so some harassment will come in over there. The Immortal and +2 attack coming up. Temple Archives and the Cannon on the way. Both of those Liberators figuring out where they want to be. Well, ShoWTimE continues to build up here. Temple Archives is not a bad choice. Archons are another kind of very tanky unit that does not really get dealt well with by mech. It's the Liberator count that I'm interested about. Does ShoWTimE have a good answer to that amount of libs? Because if these libs get in position, ShoWTimE could end up in a lot of trouble very quickly. That's why I think it's important that he's still active here and looking for the chance to jump on those Liberators at any given moment, potentially have the opportunity to come through and to knock that down. Hallucination, and then move forward once again. Liberator, Cyclone, Tank all continues up once again as well, so we keep on moving through with this. Tanks will be sieging, the Hellions coming through, ready to move into Hellbats. We are maxed as GuMiho, so this is full power. This is where we find out whether this mech army can absolutely trade or not. It's going to be one or the other. As ShoWTimE, you can see, still set up to come in from the side, and he actually might have caught GuMiho without seeing that army to the right. The Raven should see it now, though, so now GuMiho will know. I guess it's not too surprising that ShoWTimE is setting up to potentially flank you. ShoWTimE, not sure what we really kind of wait around for here. I'm not sure if this gets any better for him now. So yeah, this is just going to be deciding when you go, and it is going to be the full 360 surround. He was set up in the bottom left as well. So away we go. We actually do interference matrix up the Immortals. ShoWTimE supply is absolutely plummeting as GuMiho is going to absolutely wreck this force of ShoWTimE thus far. And ShoWTimE supply is absolutely just going to be in the bin after that. He does not have the money to rebuild with. Just Liberator tank, get in position. Even with the full surround, it just did not matter here. As ShoWTimE looks as though he is in trouble. And we are going to have a series on our hands. We're actually going to go to a game 2 with it being 1-1. We are going to start seeing some better games of StarCraft 2 today, guys. Isn't that just wonderful? Absolutely it is the answer to that. These mech pushes are so wild as well, because you don't get practice against these as ShoWTimE, right? These are not something you play against on a regular basis, so this really puts you into such an interesting spot trying to figure out how to deal with these. And obviously this one really hit, and it hit hard. ShoWTimE, too many probes gone to really just kind of buy time, giving up a base, and to eventually come and clean this up. He might, well, I mean, he might be able to clean this up because reinforcements have not gotten here. But, yeah, the interference matrices are really cool. Taking out the Immortals and taking out some of the big damage dealers. The anti-air against the Liberators is very lacking as well, so the Libs just sit there for the entire time. GuMiho, mech push, wins game 2, and we get tied up 1-1 here in this best-of-5 series in Star. GuMiho in the top right, ShoWTimE in the bottom left as we get this underway and set up and going. Game number 3 of this best-of-5. TvP coming down. TV just gonna go finish that depot up. Just gonna get ourselves a racks on the way here as well. Everything looking very normal for the moment, very expected. No proxy is one of the main things you look for in the very first couple of moments, right? As you know, proxy is a good sign. Couple gases just coming through on the side of GuMiho, so getting those gases up and rolling. Assimilated building on the side of ShoWTimE as well. Again, just waiting to see where we go. It's double gas from GuMiho, so again, expected. ShoWTimE, single gas, just waiting for him to potentially throw down the plan for himself. Obviously, he will Nexus just after Cybercore, it would seem, and then obviously we can get the tech from there and figure this all out. Well, SCV is just going to go pitter-patter and away on the gas as well. Get that all set up. And again, a Cybercore coming through, finishing very shortly. Next, continuing out. Probe on the way also. Let's bring a whole lot of this into play. Reactor goes down on the barracks. Stargate and the Adept coming through. We have ourselves the Adept already coming about. Reaper is going to get chased around a little bit as well. Battery drops into the natural. Adept hangs around. We continue to shade over to this right-hand side. Reaper going to be going through there as well. We're just still chrono boosted on the Nexus. We got ourselves the Phoenix, the Warp Gate continue to come about, the CC coming in on the natural as well. Bringing all of this through, and as we have ourselves the Phoenix still produced on in. Command Center will finish on the natural in the next few moments. Cyclones get there. Phoenix will be taking some damage. Obviously, big question mark is going to be, do we see extra factories from GuMiho? That's one thing we have got our eyes absolutely peeled for at the moment. As we do see Cyclones and a Reaper moving forward. Phoenix still gathering up and around a little bit as well. Cyclones and Reaper come across. Actually going to find the Phoenix there, so a few more shots going off. It's not a dead Phoenix, but it's a hurt Phoenix, and that's a problem because that's more easily targeted when it's lifting something in the fights later on. Going into extra gates now, the charge is the follow-up. Very good when you get those units out, but not very good for right now. You're actually in a little bit of trouble to this bit of pressure from GuMiho in this timing window. Very scary. Marines going to take down a pylon here initially. ShoWTimE. Not going to be supply blocked from that, but he's going to have to pull probes to survive this, and well, we lift up the Cyclones with the Phoenix as the Marines try and target the Phoenix down. Oh, we spent so much time talking to that Phoenix and we don't get it in the end. Wow, that's a really good defense from ShoWTimE. He only loses 3 probes. He did not lose that Phoenix. I think this is almost as clean as it gets for how tricky a situation that was turning into. Obviously now Charge is getting close to being done, so you can actually add Zealots into your army as well. They're going to be a whole lot better. And if GuMiho gets aggressive at all with an army of Marine tank without upgrades or anything, he's going to get melted by Zealots. I'm seeing him taking his third gas right now, so if GuMiho is going to play mech, factories will come soon. If not, barracks will come soon. He's got the money to build barracks. As he builds his third CC already, the Phoenix is still chasing, looking for these Cyclones where they can get them. We got one more lift, so that's going to be that completely cleaned up. This medevac going down as well, as we will chase it. ShoWTimE takes his third base on the back of all of this, and gotta say, I feel like in the end, ShoWTimE really did bring out a very good defense here. Felt like he was potentially in a bit of trouble. I mean, he is down, you know, down in workers, which is not ideal for Protoss, but like I say, I feel like the situation was terrifying. I really expected him to lose 10 plus workers. He only lost 3. Now he's coming across the map, and you know what? With charge lots, this is a moment in the game where we're not really full power as GuMiho Because these tanks, well, A, they're not sieged up right now, and they're still not sieged up. Now we will attack. GuMiho didn't hear a notification before because the Zealots never hit. We lift up the other tank here, the other tank backing away. But again, tanks are not exactly ideal against Zealots anyways, and GuMiho having to pull SCVs is in a ton of trouble. We lift up this tank again, we're going to get the kill on that one, and we are going to see ShoWTimE coming through for some serious damage. He will try and finish off that last tank, but the repair is good. I think this was okay for ShoWTimE. Yes, he gave up a lot of army, but getting 14 workers does serious damage, puts GuMiho behind on the economy from where he was. Phoenix in the main will see that this is bio, but that there's no stim or combat shield yet, so it's going to be a very long time until GuMiho has the upgrades to make his army any better at all. And if he keeps building tanks, I actually wonder if ShoWTimE might even have a window where he can just come in with Zealot Phoenix again. If the Phoenix can lift up the tanks, Zealots charge through. Zealots are just so tanky against siege tanks as well. ShoWTimE might have even had this if he didn't have to A, warp in at home defensively against the Viking, and B, actually just had a way to warp in across the map. So you might have been able to reinforce a bit sooner and just already be going in for even more damage. You can see GuMiho's not comfortable because he moves his orbital into position to wall off. That just straight up suggests that he does not think he can fight right now. So he does not want to move out to a base. And ShoWTimE, I think, doing the right thing then, because now he's starting to tech up. Robot Bane Forge on the way through, realizing the opportunity and the possibility. Yeah, Zealot's taking a few shots of damage. That was a, this really turned into a good game for ShoWTimE. Starts a fourth base up. Again, he saw there was no tech labs on those barracks, so he knows at the very least the timing of the stim is already late, and it only just started 20 seconds ago. So stim is super late, which is the real scary part of what GuMiho's building into. So if it takes so long for him to get into that, that's going to be a problem as well. It's going to leave GuMiho in a little spot of bother. Phoenix trying to come up around the top side, looking to get in toward the main base. Factory lands on the reactor. Starport will go move over to the reactor as well. Orbital will just lift off. Probably time to try and take the third, whether you like it or not right now. GuMiho has this fleet of Vikings. Honestly, not a bad thing considering it's Phoenix Colossus. Obviously don't just give them up though, as the Vikings can pick away from afar. ShoWTimE will see this now. No, I don't think he does see it. He's going to lose some of the Vikings, Phoenix now. Stalkers don't have blinks, so they can't really chase this easily. Alright, well the Vikings absolutely finding a little bit of value here as bio upgrades are finishing. ShoWTimE, again, has taken this whole opportunity as a chance to get set up on 4 bases. The forward base as well, so he's got that rich Vespene gas underway too. Vikings keep on moving about. Blinking +2 attack coming in as well. We see our Phoenix still patrolling here. Medivacs load up once again. Armory is about to be done. Bunkers of shells coming up. Medivacs and Widow Mines on the way out. ShoWTimE when he maxes, I mean, I feel like once he maxes, he should just go, right? I feel like that should just be a moment you kind of commit in. See how the Zealots gonna open up some rocks. I mean, ShoWTimE just opening up the map in general, giving himself options, giving himself mobility around. We'll see, this map can be very kind of straight up down the middle, but ShoWTimE trying to make us something a little bit more than just that. So the Marines will show up and they'll just have to lift away pretty quickly. The rest of this army from ShoWTimE still pressing towards the upper right side. Marines are going to go unloading back over to the left. So again, they're going to try and find themselves some opportunities as we move on forwards. A couple of Widow Mines and blasted down already as well. It's going to come charging forwards. This is our opportunity to deal some damage then in ShoWTimE. This army is big, it's large, it's scary. This is absolutely the moment to try and get something done, as we are going to have the Stalkers fighting back. A couple of those Vikings going down as well. Oh, get the full medevac here. Beautiful catch from ShoWTimE. The full medevac falls. GuMiho just down 30 supply, and ShoWTimE is just going to attack in. This is going to be a very difficult engagement to hold on against this GuMiho. There's not really anything going your way. Defender's advantage, I wouldn't even say, is a big deal right now, as the tanks are getting lifted and dismantled from the Phoenix lifts, and the Protoss army is just looking to be way, way, way too large. Zelt's going to start leaking into this natural as well, as the Stalkers on the third base are putting in work too. Anywhere you look on the screen right now, it feels like ShoWTimE is winning pretty much every single position. It just seems to be good for him all around. GuMiho types GG, and we are going to get ourselves ShoWTimE 2, GuMiho 1 in this best of 3. Alright guys, ShoWTimE takes the lead, a map away from advancing to the semi-finals. We're going to be going to that next game. In the top left, our blue Protoss player ShoWTimE. In the bottom left, our red Terran player GuMiho. Let's see if GuMiho can bring it back. ShoWTimE has a probe on the map early. Ooh, what if he does like a second gateway? Early pressure. GuMiho's barracks is a bit out of position because he wants to try and play a bit of a mind game himself if ShoWTimE scouts. Oh. This is going to be a little bit fun, isn't it? This is going to be a little bit wild. There is gateway. Actually, not just a second gateway. That's actually gateway number 1 going down from ShoWTimE across the map. So ShoWTimE with the 1 gate across the map. Whoa, we don't see this a lot. Usually 1 gate at home, second gate on the map. This is kind of the max packs, right? You build a gateway, you end up just expanding with that gateway pressure. He actually finds the barracks here as well, by the way. Nibbling this probe. SCV gets some good damage done from the probe as well. SCV takes quite a few nibbles, going to go after the next one, and this is a problem, man. SCVs are genuinely having a tough time for ShoWTimE. If he was actually able to deny this barracks from coming up, that would be huge. It's another SCV being pulled. I mean, that's already economy being lost. And like I say, ShoWTimE now knows where this barracks is, so he can make his decisions on what he does with the gateway more easily on the gateway units. But ShoWTimE will not have a unit at home to defend against the incoming, the incoming Reaper. And the fact that that's coming a little bit sooner might be a problem. So Cybercore on the way, he's going to need a battery in the main mineral line ASAP. It's going to become absolutely essential. Hops out, going to start moving up the left-hand side. He has no idea about the single proxy gate, by the way. He is obviously not SCV scouted. He's completely blind to this. This Reaper's going to be the first time realizing as a Zealot shows up, and there is nothing on the way to help with this Zealot, so it's going to start hitting some SCVs. And GuMiho does not micro to kind of save that SCV initially either, so that will just drop. Obviously, Reaper will start getting some probes. The Zealot gets rid of 4 SCVs. Battery on the way from ShoWTimE, so eventually he will save his probes just by having that battery up. Now another Zealot shows up. There is going to be a Reaper here. Factory finished. ShoWTimE proxies a double robo facility. Oh my goodness. Well, that's definitely one way to do things. This Reaper gets 1 more kill, makes it 4 kills apiece so far. That Zealot here was just kind of hitting the factory, which is a bit of a shame, although I wonder if he was kind of okay about keeping it alive. Stalker now going to be coming very soon. Reaper will just continue to drain this battery over on that side. No unit at home from ShoWTimE yet. He's actually going to start sending that back home, that Stalker, to deal with that Reaper, I guess. Realizing that he needs something. The Reaper's going to get the scout, by the way. It just moved up the high ground. It is seeing the buildings. If we could look at that, that would be amazing. There we go. So Reaper knows what's up. That's huge. Do you know what you go for here, guys? This is the sickest response. You go for a Viking. The Viking will deny any prism play with the Immortals. It's probably the best thing you can do. And you're going to need high ground vision as well as ShoWTimE to be able to utilize those Immortals well. I think ShoWTimE actually had a really good start here, but it's starting to kind of crumble a little bit. He's got 1 robo facility not currently producing. I almost wonder if I would have preferred to see the Stalker just continue forward and keep that, keep this Reaper from scouting. Is now like, obviously battery out of energy. I understand why he's kind of coming back to deal with it, but this also took so long for him to actually get here and to deal with this. Like it seems like he decided to come back, but then it wasn't even like he came back in time almost. Bunker up. Siege tank is on the way. Prism building, like I say, a Viking is so good because all you have to do is to shut down that prism, and this is all falling apart for ShoWTimE. This seemed like a brilliant start. It seemed like everything was set up, but the distraction on the other side really feels like it just threw a complete spanner in the works for him. Again, can use the prism as high ground vision here, as he's going to have the Viking to contend with. Like I say, it's absolutely the best response to this right now. We're not going to get rid of one depot pass, but we lose high ground vision. The prism is still taking shots. Run, prism, run. We can't just lose the prism. 2 more mortals on the way up, but again, how do you ever get those into the fight now that there's a siege tank out? And of course, ShoWTimE's production is all in the middle of the map as well, so that's not ideal for the long term. Prism loads up an immortal. I wonder if we're going to go 2 immortals dropping them. I don't even know, because it's so risky because the Viking is out, right? Building the Liberator 2 to help zone. He's going to do it. Gonna threaten at the front, but I mean, you've got to kind of ask yourself, where's that prism? Here it is. It's just going to be the commitment up. The tank was actually re-sieging, so that's actually a big deal. Can we get rid of these tanks quickly enough? We get rid of one, but there is the speedy denial on the prism. Again, that is so important here. Getting the prism down quickly is just going to make this so difficult for ShoWTimE, who's immortal that's still alive, is putting in work. He needs kind of a new prism. 2 more mortals on the way up. He only killed 3 SCVs. He is not going to get this immortal out alive. This is going to game 5, guys. ShoWTimE. Honestly, kind of love the choice. Kind of love the build. Just badly executed at the end of the day. Really fell apart to that Reaper across the map. Like, this Reaper across the map threw so many problems for ShoWTimE. I think it all fell apart for him from there. I think that's just what everything just kind of fell apart from. Yeah. At this point, Stalker is not going to really be enough of a defense. We've got a battery, we've got a Liberator sieging. This Liberator is unkillable and it will just one-shot probes, so probes are going to have to pull into this. They don't really have a choice. GG says ShoWTimE, and he lets this one slip away. I really felt like this opening was good for him, though. Just... yeah. I think the problem is the Stalker went back. Top right side, Blue Brawlers player ShoWTimE. Bottom left, our Red Terran player GuMiho. What do you reckon? I see a lot of people in chat wanting to see that mech play again from GuMiho. Okay, I can get behind it. I can understand why. Hey, honestly, he had some success with it, but he also had some failures with it too. And it feels like when ShoWTimE just gets off to a solid start, he just finds the timing to absolutely destroy GuMiho. That's what happened game 1 and 3. He just couldn't really get a hold on game 2. Now, Sign is not as much of like a mech pushing map. I guess you can maybe go through the middle, take the tower, push towards the 3rd base on the high ground. Maybe it's maybe that is actually somewhat of a possibility of how we approach this. Okay, we're coming up. No proxy here this time around from ShoWTimE. The probe heading through the center is going to get all the way down to the bottom as well. It's just going to get that set up. Move up into the main base again. Reaper on the way, Orbital on the way. Nexus and the Cyber Core coming through also. Continue to get settled. We are going to have our Reaper is coming around up through the center, going to go via the watchtower in the next couple of moments, and just going to head to the top of the map. So again, Reaper is going to be moving across up to the top, see how we're doing. Everything's very normal. And the Hellion on the way as well, some additional potential scouting. The Adept is in a good position as well. Gets both shots off on the Reapers, so that's going to be low, and we'll have to wait a little bit to regenerate before we can attempt to go again. Okay, now CC building up on the natural, getting that underway. Stargate halfway done. Reaper moves away from the warp gate. And again, we just get ready to develop the early game. Stargate play obviously keeps you very safe as ShoWTimE. I think Stargate is typically what he's going to see a lot of his success with. Kind of intrigued on the follow-up. This is feeling like a much more of a Phoenix Colossus map than a, Phoenix Charge map, but maybe he feels like Charge is just very good against the follow-ups like GuMiho might be going for, in which case, then perhaps you just send it. Medevac, tank, and Marines on the way, so already looking towards an early drop play. Something you're going to have to be on top of immediately as ShoWTimE to shut that down and to just not let that get developed at all. Just say no, basically. Just make sure that that does not become a factor in the slightest. Marines is going to finish off some rocks on the low ground. We do see our tank and our Marines continue to move through. Medevac going to lift them up, and away we go with this tank Marine drop. I mean, if the Phoenix can find this, then that's amazing. If they can stop it ahead of time, then that's brilliant, but that's obviously a question mark of, can you do that? The Phoenix currently just spotting about. We'll see the Hellion here that's obviously looking for info as well. Another Phoenix across the map looking for info. Medevac just decides to turn around, seeing the Phoenix decides he's not comfortable with this continuation, or at least not up the left-hand side. So we're not going to send that just yet. More Marines, tank, and a Viking on the way as GuMiho. I wonder if he feels as though he can hit a timing window where he can kind of catch ShoWTimE at his weakest. That's where the Immortal production is very important from ShoWTimE, as that Robo came online. If you want to go to Colossus, that's fine. I think going via the, via the Immortal just keeps you that much safer. Marines, the tank, the Medevacs all joining together still. Hellion's still moving around a little bit. Match rise, can't decide if you want to see Maru ShoWTimE or Maru GuMiho. I think Maru ShoWTimE is actually usually a very good series. Maru ShoWTimE have had some really fun matches in the past. I mean, Maru GuMiho is fun as well, but TvT is an instant thumbs down compared to TvP as well, right? I honestly think we see Maru GuMiho a fair amount in other stuff now. Maru ShoWTimE is not something you see very often. I think I'd love to see Maru ShoWTimE in that semi-final. Immortal, Adept, a couple of Zelds come through. Hellion's still trying to poke around a little bit here as we just play the cleanup game. ShoWTimE seeing this army in the center, he's fairly aware of what his opponent is setting up for. His Colossus coming by. Obviously, Colossus great against those Marines, but you do also still need to have, the Colossus staying alive against Viking shots, against tank shots. Otherwise, none of that's really too meaningful. But GuMiho goes back home. He's going to have a third CC building up. And he's adding all those extra racks. Once again, there's going to be a fairly late stim, combat, etc. He's not going to have those upgrades for a while, so that does open the door for ShoWTimE to maybe play some aggression towards the third base. Obviously, right now, you don't want to go attacking into a walled-off natural, but if you move towards the third here as GuMiho, then that is an opportunity for ShoWTimE to absolutely say, okay, well, now you're in a more forward position, a more open position. There's 100% something I can do to kind of work around that spot. Plus one attack, and the siege tank continue to come by. A couple more Vikings coming about as well. Viking tank still set up on the natural for the moment. Have a good group of Phoenixes out in the center, by the way, so they're just going to be chilling, waiting for their moment to show themselves, decide what they want to do. Obviously, they have already been looking for some opportunities to deal damage here and there already, so I'd like to be able to keep on hitting those mineral lines, killing some workers. Seeing the third coming up is obviously great info. I do wonder, extended thermal lens finishing soon. Does ShoWTimE feel good enough to push? I mean, he is bringing units over, actually, so I actually kind of agree with it. Prism coming in as well. He's going to have two Colossus, thermal lance, no bio upgrades, and the tank's not currently in position. The only thing I will say is you can probably force this third to lift and move away, but then you can't hit the natural if the tanks are all positioned over there. And that might be the only problem right now, is this really worth then attacking into this? Okay, I don't like this. Do not like the idea of attacking into all these tanks. We've got a few adepts in the front. I mean, the Phoenix is going to lift up a siege tank. I just don't see this continued push doing much, but we are going to keep on going forward. To be fair, the tanks are the only thing really dealing damage right now. We are starting to lift those up with all the Phoenix. The Marines are getting lasered down, so the damage output against the Phoenix was not really there either. Lifting up a couple more tanks. Colossus still going big. This Colossus is not going to last much longer, though, as we do have our final tank shots coming through in ShoWTimE. Yeah. GG. Just going to leave the game. Just commits to a big ol' attack, and it just doesn't work. GuMiho stays basically on the natural.